Right, so as we've mentioned, we've developed a lot in this neighborhood. Jason and I are going to kind of tell you a lot of those projects. You can look them up online. If you're local to Phoenix, you may have already been to several of them. If you haven't, come down to Roosevelt Row, check them out. I'm going to start with one of my absolute favorites. Jason already knows what I'm going to say. Lucky's Indoor Outdoor, one of my absolute favorites, located on 2nd Street, just south of Roosevelt. That's the first one.
Yeah. Slightly to the north of that is a flagship with Champagne Lanes.
So flagship restaurant group, a national restaurant group. Champagne Lanes is one of the concepts. I'm going to cheat.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to name two more because they're in the same building. So that concept just north of Lucky's, just south of Roosevelt as well. It's 903 North 2nd Street. Champagne Lanes, Palma, and Ghostaki. Those three are in the same building together.
A little bit to the north of that, we have a building called Mon Orchid. There's also three concepts in there. I'll kick one of them up, Pedal House.
So the Mon Orchid building is sort of a culturally significant asset in the neighborhood. It really was one of the few places, call it 15 years ago, that had a public-facing use to it with a coffee shop and a restaurant, etc. And so the way Mon Orchid exists today, as Jason said, Pedal House Brewery occupies the back half of the building. They have an amazing outdoor patio and a mezzanine patio on top of that. There's also Sake House, which is
Top 5 sushi for me in the state by far.
not in
by
the
far,
state.
Yeah.
Like it in the like it's
It's really good.
it's phenomenal. That's right on Roosevelt. Then you also have Kavi Coffee, which has a large seating area and an event space for weddings and corporate events and things of that nature.
All right, to the west of it a little bit, we have the building that we're sitting in right now.
Yep.
We're in Rip Valley, so I took the easy one.
Rip Valley, and he keeps doing these 3-tenant buildings, so I'm going to continue to cheat. But Rip Valley is one of our, for me personally,
baby.
nearest and dearest. It's like my sixth child, if that were kind of an appropriate analogy. Probably not.
A little bit of a nerd, just look at your
Yeah, a little bit is an understatement. But big collector. Someday I'll tell everyone about my massive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic collection, which is like takes up half of my house. I mean, it's ridiculous. But Rip Valley is a sports card and culture shop. A lot of TCG comics, a lot of sports cards. You've seen what Fanatics has done with the NBA, the MLB, the NFL coming up, but also Pokemon and Magic the Gathering and all those kind of things as well. And so we're sitting inside of Rip Valley right now. That is the middle tenant in a 3-tenant building. On the right side of that, we have another bar concept called Tropic Thunder. That is opening literally this month, January of 2026.
I'm really excited for that one.
It's crazy. Yeah.
The old name is amazing, though. Don't forget.
Oh wait!
Yeah.
Oh wait! Hold on. This is important.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite insults we've gotten is that the Atari Hotel is the fire festival of hotel financing. That's pretty good. Here's what I'll say. We originally thought about calling Tropic Thunder Fire with a Y. So that one was near and dear.
I was trying to name it.
Yeah, you did like that. You did like that.
Name might be fun.
And then on the other side of the building, you have a jazz education center with one of our amazing partners, the Nash. They have a youth program that they provide education to kids all over the valley who are interested in classical jazz, which we think is super cool. So that is 1014 North 2nd Street, just north of Roosevelt.
And let's go a little bit north. We are completing our very first apartment, 36 units, called Rainbow Road. It's inspired after Mario Kart, and we have 2 ground floor tenants.
So Rainbow Road, as Jason said, 36-unit boutique apartment building right at the intersection of Portland Street, which is 1 block north of Roosevelt, and 1st Street. So 36 units on floors 2 through 5. On the ground floor, you have a restaurant called Hero, which is kind of a modern Italian inspiration. And then on the other side, you have a concept called Reb, which will be a Pilates and spin studio obviously for residents, but also for the local community in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it'd be incredible for the residents just to walk downstairs, you cycle, you do everything.
Totally. Yep. So my next one is the hardware store. So the hardware store is one of the most iconic and historic buildings. It's truly on the historic registrar. It's over 100 years old now. It's a 2-story brick building. We happen to have our office in that building right next to the Atari site. You want to maybe talk about the other tenants in that building?
On the ground floor and in the basement, there is one of my favorite liquors, Tequila Bar. I'm a tequila fan.
He is a tequila fan.
Barco is a great tequila bar. And the owners there are actually creating a brand new concept called Off the Record. That's all I'm going to say right now.
It's off the
It'll
record
be-
still
yeah,
until it's
off
on
the
the
record.
record. Yeah.
You're right next door to Barco. We're really excited for that one.
Yep. So basically, ground floor you have food and beverage uses. Top floor you have office use. You move to the south of that. We announced a project adjacent to the south, 821 North First Avenue, right along the light rail. Project called Manzana, which is Spanish for apple. That project is a 12-story it's apartment building primarily. It's 125 units, but it also has a single level of creative office, as well as a ground floor restaurant of about 10,000 square feet, and then some parking. So that's about a $50-ish million project that we're literally breaking ground in about 2 months on.
And then to the south of that is one of my favorite projects. It's a 3 restaurant bar concept with a shared kitchen. The group that did Calla, Tell Your Friends, Clive is actually doing that one. So we're really excited about that. You might have seen it in the media a little bit, but there's not been too much on it yet. But again, it's going to be 3 different concepts: Ada, Love Call, Kuza, and there's going to be an event center right in the middle of these 2 bungalows. So it's going to be an incredible spot to hang out. And all of these are going to be right off that alley that we mentioned earlier, which is the alley that runs right through the Atari Hotel.
Fascination Street will go through Atari, down behind all of these restaurants. And the other thing I'll say about the restaurants to the south is these are being done in older buildings. One that's historic south of the hardware store called the Stoddard House, and then the rest of the bungalows are not historic, but they're built a long time ago. They're semi-historic, if you will, or nearly historic. And so we're revitalizing those buildings from really office uses for the last several decades into some of the best restaurants in the neighborhood.
And right across the alley from Manzana, we just acquired a piece of land that we're going to develop. So again, that's going to be part of this alley experience. And at this point, we pretty much own the entire block, which is really exciting. It makes this work very well for us and allows us to pull off this alley experience very flawlessly. And that will probably either be a micro hotel or an apartment.
Yep. And there's a few other projects that I'll mention that we've also been involved in. We were involved in the development of the Cambria Hotel at 3rd Street in Portland. We were also involved in the development of the 1001 office building, which has an amazing restaurant in the ground floor, or in the basement actually, called Rough Rider. Got to check that out. And the parking garage adjacent was part of that development as well. That sits really right between the Rainbow Road project that we just completed and Roosevelt Street. And so I feel like that's a pretty good mix of.
Yeah, and I invested in the Moon Tower, which is a 297 unit apartment. Talking about Lincoln Ventures, a group out of Austin. It's an incredible apartment downtown. But with Moon Tower and then there's another 1,500 to 2,000 units coming online in the next 2 months. This neighborhood has really taken off. It's changed a lot in the last 5 to 8 years.